Welcome to The Chat, the official podcast of Chatham County Government. I'm Will Peoples with the Public Information Office, and like every week, we're going to introduce you to a new member of Team Chatham. Today, I am joined by Animal Officer Supervisor Tasha Reed from Animal Services. Tasha, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. So, I guess, what does your role entail, first off? Like, what does an animal officer supervisor do?
Yeah, so I manage our team of officers at Chatham County Animal Services, and we have a pretty small team so far, but we're looking to grow, and my job is just to help them grow as individual officers and help them grow within our community as well.
Gotcha. So, I don't know, the public perception, at least my perception, and I am a member of the public, of Animal Services is people call you guys when there's a problem with, a dog running around biting people or something like that. Is that accurate? Like what is as you see it, the
role?
Is
a small facet of what we do.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So we respond to animal complaints from citizens and other law enforcement agencies. We respond to any animal-related issue that is domestic. So the dogs, the cats, sometimes we get guinea pigs or domestic pigs every now and then.
Pigs? Awesome.
Yeah, we've had a few pig cases. It's been pretty cool.
Like big pigs or little
the
pigs?
Potbellies.
Big pigs.
Yeah,
Whoa.
They're big boys, but they're fun and they're super cute. So it's a fun day. But we also help educate the public as well. We go to a lot of school events and career days, and we tell kids how to become an officer when they grow older. And we are actually integrated within the animal shelter here in Chatham County. So we not only work on the kind of law enforcement side and enforcing our ordinances, we also help with adoptions and getting dogs in and evaluating them and helping the public kind of reunite with lost dogs and just a whole plethora of animal-related ideas and jobs.
So is that typical where Animal Services is looped in with the shelter itself? Is that something that happens a lot, or is that kind of unique to us?
Yeah, no, I believe that happens a lot. I'm from Colorado, where I used to work as an animal control officer there, and we were integrated into the shelter as well.
Gotcha.
It really helps bridge that gap between community and law enforcement side as well. So
yeah, I was going to say, because so give me the process. When you guys get called out on a call. There's an animal that's usually causing a problem, or is it like, hey, there's a lost dog in my neighborhood and we don't know what to do with it?
So this year so far, the most frequent call we receive are dogs running loose. So those that are not off leash or on leash, they escaped their yard, went for a fun little joy run without mom and dad. And we get those calls pretty frequently. The next most frequent call are our welfare calls, so any abuse and neglect cases. As soon as we get a call in for service, we put it on our dispatch board, which is similar to a police officer's board. We can see all our calls, and they are listed by priority. So we have our top priorities, the emergency situations, and then kind of the lower priorities, like a warning for a barking dog in the neighborhood. And then one of our officers will go out and be dispatched to the call and handle the call as needed.
Whoa, that's cool. Yeah. So when you guys bring animals in, what does that kind of onboarding process look like for them before they end up in the shelter? Like, what is it shots? Is it?
Yeah, so if an officer brings a dog in, let's say a Great Dane, the first thing that they do is we give intake shots, and that's just to protect the dog from other shelter dogs. There's a lot of capacity there, so we want to, protect everyone's health. So we give regular intake shots, and then they are kenneled and labeled appropriately where we found them, when they found them, when their stray weight begins, any possible owners, any location. And then after the officer is completed with their reports, the shelter staff kind of takes over that, and they are scouring lost and found pages on social media, the newspapers, news outlets, we have some, and they update our website to keep the public informed as up to date as possible. We update that every day, actually. And that way, if we do have an owner looking for a dog, they can check our website or come down to the shelter and see that dog for themselves.
Well, a lot goes into it,
There's a lot.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot of work. Is it gratifying work? Do you like doing it?
I love what I do. I love my job. I know the people I work with love their job. We wouldn't be in this profession if we didn't love our job and we didn't seek some kind of good resolution to what we do.
Sure. What's y'all's relationships like with the other shelters around town? There's Paws, there's Renegade, there's all the different ones. Do you guys interact with them often?
On a daily basis, multiple times a day.
How do those relationships work?
They have to work.
Yeah.
We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But no, they're really good. We have a superb networking kind of community here with other shelters, and it's not only in Chatham County. We network with Florida shelters, Midwest shelters. We've gone up to South Carolina. We work with everyone, and it's really in the best interest of the animals within our shelters. We've transported animals out that just aren't doing good in our shelter. Maybe they have a higher adoptability rate in South Carolina. We've transported up there, and vice versa. If we're, at capacity, we'll reach out to our partners, and Renegade Paws is really good with helping that, and Coastal Rescue, and just everyone is always on board and helping out when they can, and the community helps as well with that. Fosters are always needed, and fostering helps, animals come out of our shelter and out of rescue shelters, so we can focus on, if we have big cases coming in, we can house those animals a little longer.
Gotcha. Oh, that's awesome. It kind of takes a village in that way, I guess.
It does.
That's cool. So, speaking of adoptions, heard that we've had a lot lately.
We have. So Chatham County Animal Services had 43 adoptions last month.
Whoa.
That is the highest
That's
number
more
of
than
adoptions.
days in the month.
I know. That's
Yeah.
insane. And it's all credited to this wonderful community that we have of animal lovers, our loving staff that we have, all the way from, kennel staff to animal control assistants, all the way up to the director and everyone in between. Our adoption coordinator works super hard, and just networking everyone and getting everyone's faces out there and working with them daily. It's really good. So 43 adoptions in 1 month is outstanding, and we couldn't have done it without everyone involved.
So what is, I don't know, that seems like a lot. Is that way more than average, about average?
It is way more than average.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations.
It's really good.
That's
Thanks.
great. So I guess, that's obviously, a lot of work for the team, but, that's the goal, that's the outcome you're looking for,
Absolutely.
right? I guess what is, on a month like that, what is the vibe in the office like?
Ooh. Oh my goodness. We work so much. We start out every morning. The shelter staff starts out in a morning meeting, and we kind of talk about what happened, who's on the adoption floor, who's moving to the adoption floor, any medical workups needed. So they are working hard as soon as they hit those doors entering in, and they don't stop until 5 p.m. And most of the time, I see them kind of scurrying around after hours as well, making sure everyone's ready for the next day, and making sure those dogs get adopted and cats as well. And we have volunteers coming in to help offload even more work from the staff. So it's a lot. I know my officer team, they're pulling 60, 70-hour weeks sometimes helping out, and we always help when we can with the shelter as well, and public events too. So it's a lot of work, but man, is it worth it.
That's another thing I wanted to bring up. A lot of people don't really know what the role of animal services is during a storm like that. Can you talk about a little bit about what y'all did during Debbie?
Yeah, so Debbie, obviously this most recent natural disaster, hit us pretty hard with the flooding. So when the swift water rescue teams and the police officers and firefighters were removing those people from their homes and mandatory evacuations, their animals had to go somewhere as well. So we set up with the Red Cross, and we were able to set up some shelter in place for animals. That way people can stay with their animals, because obviously we want owners staying with animals, especially in natural disaster.
Oh, it'd be so scary not knowing.
Oh my gosh.
Not knowing where your dog is. You're out of house and home already. It's
the adrenaline, arguably the worst day of their life.
Yeah.
And then we have to take away their dog.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
Please no.
No. So we go in and we set up shelters with the the human shelters.
Right.
And we provide all the resources: food, water, cages, muzzles if necessary. We have a vet on staff to provide vaccines if they're not current on vaccines, to keep everyone safe. We do daily check-ins, and then for those people who are unable to stay with their animals, maybe they're being evacuated out of state, we actually house them for free at our shelter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we give free microchips to everyone as well. And every day we officers were updating the owners, just making sure, hey, your dog's okay. got enrichment today, a little peanut butter Kong or something.
Yeah.
That way, just, kind of peace of mind is really important to us too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. No, it's just, you don't really realize how much is done during a storm by
all
the
the
folks until you're
back-end
there.
stuff.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's crazy. It really is crazy. I learned that very well myself of being new here during the storm recently. But yeah, I guess kind of just to wrap things up here, if there's nothing else that you want to promote or talk about, or
I think I covered everything.
first thing I want to do, adoption process. What can folks do if they see this and they're like, hey, I've been looking for a new dog, a new cat or something? What is the process with Animal Services?
Well, first off, love that for people. Please, we have all your furry family friends here. I would suggest first coming on down to our shelter and doing an adoption walkthrough. Our staff is highly familiar with every dog on our adoption floor. So if you tell them kind of what you're looking for, maybe you are like a very high active lifestyle. So maybe you're looking for like a lab or a Belgian Malinois shepherd. And staff can kind of lead you in that direction. Whereas if we have like an elderly couple who's just looking to, settle down, we have maybe a couch potato dog. That's perfect. So yeah, come on down and go through our adoption floor, talk to our staff, and then we do meet and greets as well, where we sit you in a room and we bring the dog or cat to you, and you just kind of bond. And if it's the right feel, we'll do some meet and greets with other dogs or cats in the home. That way we can ensure everyone gets along.
Got to make sure everybody gels.
Oh yeah. The vibes. We got to make sure there's good vibes throughout.
Yeah, sure.
And then we have you fill out an adoption application, and it is first come, first serve. So get on down and get you a new furry friend.
Gotcha. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And last question. This is just something that we touched on it a little bit earlier. You spoke about it being a lot of hard work, but it's why everybody signs up for it. Why do you do what you do? Why do you like it?
Oh, I've always really loved helping animals and being their voice for, the voiceless. I know that's pretty cliche, but that is what drives me every day. That's what wakes me up at 5 a.m. and gets going. I have dogs of my own, and I cannot imagine someone hurting them or causing any kind of distress to them, and that is really what helps me kind of get through the harder cases that we have. Just seeing that light at the end of the tunnel is really, it's really a good feeling. I speak for a lot of officers I know, but when you're working a cruelty case for 6 months and then you get to see that dog walk out of that shelter with a wagging tail and a new family, woo! That is.
I'm there with you. I got zoned in.
Man,
Oh my gosh.
It's the best feeling in the world, and I just want that for every animal ever.
That's really beautiful. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing.
Of course, thank you for having
what
me.
you do, and thank you for coming here.
Aw,
Appreciate that.
Anytime.
And thank you for joining us here on the chat. Please come back for the next episode where we will meet another member of Team Chatham who do what they do for you, the community. Thanks for joining us, and for everybody at the Public Information Office. I'm Will Peoples. Have a good day.